Hello everyone, this is the fourth video of this chapter. So today we are going to discuss about the underemployment. What is underemployment? Here, when more people are involved, so few lines are given here, I will read for you. There are more people in agriculture than is necessary. So even if you move a few people out, production will not be affected. What does it mean? For example, we have 2 acres of land. Okay, 2 acres of land, and here with the help of 5 people you are able to produce how much? Let's say 100 kg of rice, wheat, whatever. With the help of 5 people you are able to produce 100 kg. But if you remove 3 people, if you are removing 3 people out, if you are taking 3 people out, so how many people will be remaining? 2. But these 2 are also able to produce 100 kg. So what is happening? If we remove these 3 people, and these 3 people can go to the cities, okay, and they can work as a labor somewhere, and they can also earn money. They can also earn some money, and then these people will help to their family. So what is happening? Ultimately 100 kg production is also happening, and some extra source of income is also happening. So same thing they have explained with the help of some story of Lakshmi and all. So this story you can read by your own. So what is labor effort here? They have given. You will see that everyone is working. So these 5 people are working. None remain idle. So here nobody is idle. But in actual fact, their labor effort gets divided. So when these 5 people were involved and they are producing 100 kg, so their labor effort was divided. Each one is doing some work, but no one is fully employed. So these 5 people were involved, but their labor effort was divided, and nobody is fully employed. Means nobody is doing their 100% work. Or few lines are given here. All of them are made to work less than their potential. So nobody is working to their potential. Okay, everybody is working, but nobody is working in their 100% capability or capacity, you can say. So what is this called? This kind of underemployment is hidden. So underemployment is hidden in contrast to someone who does not have a job, and is clearly visible as unemployed. So if you see these people, you will find that these people are involved in somewhere. They are working, but in a real sense, they are not working to their potential. Okay, so hence it is also called disguised unemployment. So what you can say? You can say underemployment is also called as disguised unemployment. It is not wrong to say this thing. Okay, so same thing here also they have given. You do not see the example which I have given you right now. You do not need 5 people to look after that small plot. 2 people moving out does not affect the same example I have explained you just now. Increase, and they would also continue to produce as much as their land. So these things done just now. Same thing I have explained you. So what is happening here in India? There are lakhs of farmers like Lakshmi in India. This means that even if we remove a lot of people from agriculture sector, and provide them with proper work elsewhere, agriculture production will not suffer. So here also, if we have removed, in this case we have removed 3 people out, but production 100 kg has not affected. Okay, the income of the people who take up other work, these 3 people, if they have to go to city or some other work they have to do, what will happen? Would increase the total family income. Same thing, they can earn something extra. So this is the case of, you can say, in rural area. And what is happening in the urban areas? Okay, casual work. Thousands of the people are working as a casual workers in the services sector in urban areas who search for daily employment. They are employed as painters. शहरों में क्या होता है? In cities, what is happening? People are working as a painter, plumber, repair persons, okay, liftman, auto drivers, and all, many more. And even the shops also, you find some of the people they are working. Many of them don't find work everywhere. Similarly, we see other people of the services sector on the street pushing a cart or selling something where they may spend the whole day. Means people are working throughout the day, they are working. But what is happening? They may spend the whole day but earn very little. Means after working throughout the day, they are not getting the proper income. They are not able to generate proper income. They are doing this work because they do not have better opportunity. Sometimes even in the urban areas, they are doing their 100%, but they are not getting income properly. Even remember one more thing, there are people, for example, those who have a degree of masters, MA they have done or PhD they have done, but after getting these kind of degrees also, they are not getting a proper job according to their educational level. Okay, this thing you have to understand. So this is also a kind of underemployment. Okay, you have a degree of masters or PhD and you are working as a guard somewhere. So that is again wastage of human resource. You have to understand this thing. How to create more employment? Then the question comes, a big question, how to create more employment? So what is given? From the above discussion, we can see that there continue to be considerable underemployment in agriculture. People who are not employed at all. In what ways can one increase employment for people? These are some of the questions we have to answer. So the government can spend some money or bank can provide a loan. So here two things, government can spend some money and banks can provide some kind of loan to construct a well. Okay, so we'll see in next paragraph what kind of works people can start and they can generate more income. Okay, so two more here what is given. So two more members of the family can be employed in their own field. So this you can read by your own. Okay, for example, now suppose a new dam is constructed. So what will happen if a dam, you have to construct one dam. So what will happen? And canal are dug to irrigate many such farms. So when you are constructing a dam, it will going to give employment to people. Yes or no? So many engineers, many architects or even laborers, and these laborers will come from village. Okay, these people will come from village. For example, you have to construct one dam in Madhya Pradesh. The people, those who are belonging in that region, will get employment. So this could lead to a lot of employment generation within the agriculture sector itself, reducing the problem of underemployment. So it will reduce, remember this thing, it is reducing the problem of underemployment. Here one more thing, if new things are constructed, for example, here, for this they may be required, or example if we are constructing a hospital, schools or any other roads, so it will give employment opportunity to more people. So let's read what is given here. Now here I will read from here. From this, they may be required to transport their product to a nearby town. If we have to, so what will be required? If the government invests some money in transportation, government is investing some money in the transportation and storage of crops or make better rural roads. So what will happen? Of course it will going to develop village also, it will going to develop a village. Okay, so it will develop village plus transportation will be developed. Okay, and people will able to sell their product to cities where they can get a better money for their product. So this activity can provide productive employment to not just farmers. Of course, farmers will able to sell their product in better price, but also others such as those in services like transport and trade. Of course, the people those are involved in transportation, trade, construction activities, and all these people will get benefit from this. So next thing, to cultivate the land, she also need seeds, fertilizer, agriculture. Here we are talking about the Lakshmi. So please, you have to read each and every line by your own. Here I am explaining some of the important points. Okay, so of course, if one farmer is there, farmer will require seeds, fertilizers, okay, agriculture, like agriculture equipments, it can be a tractor also, machines, and various other equipments are required, pumps, tube wells and all, okay, pump sets to draw water. Being a poor farmer, she cannot afford many of these, so she will have to borrow. She need to borrow money. Now, here we have to understand that Lakshmi is a poor farmer. She doesn't have her own savings. Okay, that's why she need to borrow money from money lenders. She can also go to, don't you think she can go to bank? Yes. And if she will go to money lenders, what they will do? They will charge high rate of interest. Okay, high rate of interest. If the local bank gives her credit at a reasonable rate of interest, she will be able to buy all these in time and cultivate her land. So of course here role of bank in money and credit also we have discussed this some of the points. So bank can provide poor people at a very cheap rate of interest, they can provide loans. So this thing provide cheap agriculture credit to the farmers for farming to improve. Of course, if farmers are getting credit at the cheap interest rate, so they can invest in their field and it will help in expanding their or increasing their income, and easily they will able to repay that loan. Another way by which we can tackle this problem is to identify, promote and locate industries. So what are the another way? Promote, locate industries and services in semi-rural areas. In rural areas, government can easily give license to whom? To the industries, factories, so that they can start a factory. In a village, one factory will start, what will happen? It will give employment to many people. Okay, the people, those who are living in that rural area or in that village will get employment. Okay, so same thing is here they have explained with the help of few more examples. Let's see. Setting up a dal mill is one. Of course, dal mill is set up to produce and process these and sell in the cities is one such example. Opening a cold storage could give an opportunity to the farmers. Of course, when the cold storage is being constructed, that time also it will going to provide labor to the villages. Okay, they can work as a labor. Then later on, once it has been constructed, then also farmers can store their products. Farmers to store their products, like what kind of products? Potato, onion, and sell them when the price is good. So we know once the prices are, there's a good price available in the market, that time they can release from their storehouses and it can be sold in the market. Because once together everybody will go and sell, so might be prices will fall, because supply increases, prices fall. So whenever the prices are stable, that time they can sell. In villages near forest areas, we can start honey collection. So these are some kind of training also. Villages can get the training of honey collection, how to do all this activity. So if they know, they can easily do. To set up industries that produce vegetable and agriculture products like potato, sweet potatoes, rice, wheat. So all these things, employment in industries located in the semi-rural areas and not necessary in urban centers. So there are few different kind of industries which can be settled near the agriculture field, and if it is located near the agriculture field, it will going to benefit the villagers, or you can say rural people. Okay. So, do you know that India, against few facts are there, 46.9% of the population belong to the age of 5 to 29 years. Out of this, only about 52% are attending educational institutions. So here they are talking about the educational institution. Rest are not. They may be at home, or many of them may be working as a child labor. And we know child labor is banned. It is prohibited. You cannot allow person working below 14 years in your hotel, motel, whatever. Otherwise, you will be behind bars. You will be behind bar. जेल हो जाएगी आपको. Then same thing is given here. Okay, let's see what are the other things given here. If these children are to attend schools, we will require more buildings. Of course, here how again focus on the same point, how employment can be generated. So more buildings, school buildings. We are talking about the school buildings. More teacher. If school building, during the construction of that school building, we will require laborers. Okay. Then once building is prepared, then maybe you will require some, of course, teachers you will be required, then furnitures you will be required, electrician you will be required, plumbers you will be required. So all these people, and people like masses, those who are servants and all, some other lab assistants and all you will be requiring. So more teachers, other staff. Study conducted by the Planning Commission estimates that nearly 20 lakh jobs can be created in education sector alone. So these are directly and indirectly how people can be employed in educational sector with the help of education sector. Similarly, same thing is happening with the health also. Okay, one educational institutes can be settled, health situation can be okay. If remember one thing, if a hospital, you need to open one hospital in one rural area or in some village, what will happen again? Same thing. During the construction of the hospital, will require laborers. Once it is being done, building is constructed, then you will require carpenters, electrician, beds you will be requiring. So once you have to give the order for a bed. So again, some other people are indirectly involved in this sector. Many more doctors, nurses, health workers to work in rural areas. These are some ways. So above we have discussed some of the ways by which jobs would be created, and we would also be able to address the important aspect of the development talked in the chapter number 1. So of course, so all these things, how employment can be generated. Employment can be generated in health, education, industries can be open, storehouses can be open, agriculture related industries can be opened, and many more things. Construction, for example, infrastructure development like dam, like roads. So there also you will require people provide their services. Okay. Every state or region has potential to increase the income and employment for people in that area. So we are talking about the areas. For example, you are talking about the Rajasthan, Maharashtra, or any geographical area where income can be generated or more people can be employed. For example, it could be a tourism. For example, here if you are talking about the Kashmir and all, maybe you cannot focus on agriculture and infrastructure development, but tourism can be flourished there. Or regional craft, like in Jharkhand and all, regional crafts can be there. Industries or service sector like IT can be, again, IT is a boosting industry nowadays. Some of these would require proper planning and support for the government. But the thing is, if you want to do all these things, if you want to generate more employment, you will require planning and execution. It should not be just on the papers. Proper execution is required. For example, the same study by the Planning Commission says that if tourism as a sector is improved, so you know now Kutch, maybe you have seen Amitabh Bachchan, or Madhya Pradesh, so they, even Uttar Pradesh, everybody, even Maharashtra, Kashmir, Uttarakhand, they all the government means all the state government, they are trying to focus on their tourism industries nowadays. Every year we can give additional employment to more people, more than 35 lakh people. So this is again a one thing. Okay. Now again we have to, here something is given, recognized as a central government in India made a law implementing right to work. What is this right to work? काम करने का अधिकार. Okay, in 200 districts of India, initially it was started in 200 districts. So you can read this paragraph by your own. Okay, and then extended to an additional 130 districts. The remaining districts in rural areas were brought under the Act with effect from 1st April 2008. It is called National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. It is given here. Narega. Maybe you can also get the word in new books. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, MG Narega. Okay, this word also might be you can get MG NREGA. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act 2005. Now this question can come for 3 marks, and this is one of the important questions. Okay, very important question. So what is this? MG Narega. Under Narega 2005, all those who are able to means they can do work. We are not talking about the dependent population. Okay, able to and are in need of work are guaranteed 100 days of employment in a year by the government. So government will provide you 100 days of work. This all you need to remember. Government is liable, means government is going to provide you 100 days of work, okay, in 1 year. If government fails, if government is not able to provide you, then what they will do? It's a duty to provide employment. It will give unemployment allowance. Allowance in Hindi, which what we call Berojgar Bhatta to the people. So if government is not able to provide you work, they will provide you some money. And of course, from 2005 now it has been changed, and every state government is providing different amount. It can be 100 rupees also, it can be 200 rupees also, 150 as per the policy of the state government. This type of work that would in future help to increase the production from land, it will be given preference under this act. Actually here they are giving preference like construction of road, construction of canals, construction of dam, where people can be employed, and it will be helpful for a village generating employment as well as for the people also. So for example, you have to construct a dam or you have to construct a road. What will happen? People will get employment or not? People will get employment, and government is able to establish infrastructure in that village. So it is working in the development of village also, as well it is also helping people to get employed. So that's it for today, and in next video we will see the difference between organized and unorganized sector, I think, and private and public also. Both the things we will discuss. So for this, thank you so much, and next video we will continue this topic. Thank you so much everyone.